Ever find your heart just racing and you're like, not even sure why?
Yeah,
Or maybe you suddenly crack a smile or feel tears welling up and it feels totally out of the blue.
yeah, that's such a common thing, isn't it? Feeling these big emotional waves hit us, and sometimes it feels like we're just along for the ride.
Right. Like we're passengers, not the ones driving. But
Yeah.
what if there's more to it? What if we could actually understand the why behind those feelings?
What if those, seemingly random shifts actually have a biological explanation, a script almost?
Exactly. And that's what we're getting into today. Think of this as your inside guide to the science behind your feelings.
And crucially, how you can maybe get a bit more control.
Our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack what emotions are, biologically speaking.
And figure out why we even have them in the first place. They're not always pleasant, after all.
Definitely not. And then we'll get into some practical ways, some tools you can use to, navigate all of this.
Sounds good. So get ready, because this is the deep dive.
Today's topic, the science behind what you feel, how emotions control you, and how you can take back control. We're going to uncover what's really happening inside when you feel, well, anything.
Let's do it. So first things first, what even are emotions? It's easy to just think of them as, I don't know, moods, vague vibes.
Totally, like, oh, I'm in a weird mood today. But the science, the sources we looked at, they show it's much deeper than that. There's a real biological basis.
Precisely. Emotions are basically fast messages flying around inside your brain. It uses chemicals, neurotransmitters, and electrical signals.
Like a super fast internal messaging system.
Yeah, exactly. And it kicks off in response to something you sense, seeing something, hearing something, even just thinking about something. It's lightning quick.
And within that system, there are some key players, right? These chemicals that really drive the feelings. Our sources point to, like, a big four.
That's a good way to put it, the big four. First up, probably the most famous one is dopamine. People often call it the reward drug.
Ah, dopamine.
Yeah, your brain releases this when something good happens, or even when you think something good might happen. Winning something, eating tasty food, getting a like online, praise.
That scroll on the phone, too, right? That hits dopamine.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The anticipation is key. It's not just the reward itself, but expecting it. That's what keeps you scrolling or checking notifications. It reinforces behaviors.
Okay, makes sense. Who's next in the big four?
Next is serotonin, often called the mood stabilizer.
Mood stabilizer, okay.
I think this one's linked to feeling, calm, confident, generally stable. When your serotonin levels are doing well, you tend to feel more grounded, emotionally speaking.
So it's kind of like the anchor.
In a way, yeah. It helps regulate mood, but also things like sleep, appetite.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fundamental for just feeling okay.
Got it. Then there's adrenaline. That's the fight or flight one, right? Everyone knows that.
This one, it surges when you're scared, obviously, but also when you're really excited. Anything that gets your heart pounding.
So it's not just for danger.
No, it's your body's get ready for action signal. Speeds up your heart, pumps out energy, sharpens your focus, prepares you for immediate physical exertion, whether that's running away or giving a big presentation.
Okay. And the last of the big four.
That would be cortisol, the stress signal.
Cortisol. Stress.
Yeah, your body releases this when it senses pressure, challenge, a threat. It's designed for short-term stress situations.
But it can be bad if it hangs around too long.
Exactly. Chronic stress, meaning high cortisol levels for extended periods, that can really mess with things. Decision-making, sleep, emotional regulation, you name it. Remember those pre-test jitters?
Oh, yeah. Feeling totally wired and anxious.
That's often cortisol doing its thing.
Wow. It's amazing how direct the links are. Like, you get a nice comment from someone you like. Boom, dopamine.
Right. Or that tense feeling before an important meeting. Hello, cortisol, and maybe some adrenaline.
So it's like our brain is this this chemical DJ mixing up these different signals to create the feeling of the moment.
That's a fantastic analogy. A chemical DJ. And understanding that helps us see emotions not just as good or bad, but as, complex biological signals.
Okay, so we have this chemical DJ spinning tracks in our head, but why? Why did we evolve to have these feelings, especially the ones that feel, frankly, awful sometimes?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, according to our sources, goes way back. It's all about survival. These aren't bugs in the system. They're features developed over huge stretches of time.
Features for survival, like an internal alarm system.
Precisely. Think about fear. It screams danger, it makes you want to run, hide, fight back. That kept our ancestors from becoming lunch, right? A pretty clear survival advantage.
Okay, fear makes sense. What about something like love? How does that help survival?
Well, love, connection, bonding, these encourage us to stick together. As social animals, that's huge for us.
Right, safety in numbers.
Exactly. Cooperation, protecting each other, raising kids successfully. Strong social bonds fueled by these emotions are vital for our species' success.
Okay. What about anger? That one often feels like it causes more problems than it solves.
Huh. It can feel that way. But anger typically signals that something is unfair or a boundary has been crossed. It gives you the energy, the motivation to stand up for yourself, to try and fix a situation or protect what's yours. The expression of anger can be tricky, but the feeling itself has a purpose.
Protecting resources, correcting injustice.
Yeah.
Okay. And sadness. It just feels like it slows everything down.
It does slow us down, and that seems to be its function. Sadness usually comes after a loss or disappointment. It encourages us to withdraw a bit, reflect, process what happened, and ideally heal.
And it can also signal to others that we need help.
Yes, that too. You can draw support from our social group. So you see, each of these core emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, are like messages.
Vital messages honed by evolution to help us navigate life.
Exactly.
Man.
Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do we just ignore those messages or try to shut them down instead of listening to what they might be telling us?
Yeah. Are you actually tuning in? Are you treating these feelings like valuable data from your own internal system?
It's a really important question to ask yourself.
Okay, so if these are important messages, but they feel so intense sometimes, can we actually control them? Can we, like, turn down the volume?
The control question. This is where it gets interesting. Our sources suggest you can't just, flip a switch and stop feeling something. Trying to just suppress or ignore emotions. That usually backfires.
So no magic off button for anxiety or anger. Damn.
Not quite. But, and this is the really empowering part, you absolutely can learn to manage how you respond to those emotions.
Manage the response, not the feeling itself.
Exactly. Think about it like notifications on your phone. An emotion pops up, ping. It's a signal.
Okay.
You don't have to click on every single notification the second it appears, right? You see it, you acknowledge it, and then you decide what to do about it.
Yeah.
Maybe you deal with it now, maybe later, maybe it doesn't need any action at all.
I like that. The phone notification analogy. So the feeling arrives, but we get to choose the next step.
Precisely. You have agency in how you react.
So how do we get better at that? At noticing the notification and choosing our response. Our sources gave us 5 mind hacks, they called them.
Yeah, 5 practical strategies. Let's start with the first one. Name it to tame it.
Name it to tame it. Okay, what's that about?
It sounds simple, but it's remarkably powerful. Just pausing to identify and label the emotion you're feeling. Actually saying to yourself, okay, I'm feeling frustrated right now, or this is anxiety.
Just putting a name on it.
Just naming it can actually calm your brain down. It sort of shifts the activity from the more reactive emotional parts like the amygdala to the more thinking part, the prefrontal cortex. Gives you a little distance.
It's like catching the feeling instead of being swept away by it. Okay, I can see that. What's next? Pause and breathe. That sounds almost too simple.
It does seem basic, but deep conscious breathing is incredibly effective. It's a direct line to your nervous system.
Yeah.
When you deliberately slow down your breathing, take deep belly breaths, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. This lowers cortisol, that stress chemical.
Right, the stress signal.
Yeah, and it sends a signal to your brain basically saying, okay, the immediate danger has passed. You're safe. Even just a few deep breaths can start to dial down the intensity of an emotional reaction.
Wow. So simple, but it actually changes the chemistry. Need to remember that one. Okay, number 3. Move your body. Exercise, basically.
Pretty much. Getting physical is a fantastic way to work through emotions and release pent-up energy. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins.
Ah, the runner's high chemicals.
Exactly. They're like natural painkillers and mood boosters. So moving your body is a really healthy way to shift your emotional state. Much better than, say, yelling at someone.
Definitely. Okay, 4th hack. Write or voice note your feelings. Getting it out.
Yes, externalizing it. Putting your feelings into words, writing them down maybe in a journal, or even just speaking them into a voice memo on your phone helps you process them.
How does that help?
It helps you understand them better. It creates a bit of separation between you and the feeling. You can look at it a bit more objectively, untangle the knots.
Like taking the jumble in your head and putting it down on paper or into the air makes it feel more manageable.
Exactly. And the fifth mind hack, choose what you focus on.
Ooh, this feels important, especially now with constant distractions.
It really is. Your brain focuses where you direct your attention. If you keep replaying negative thoughts or focusing on what's making you anxious or angry,
You're just feeding the feeling.
you're essentially amplifying it. You're dedicating brain power to it. So consciously shifting your focus maybe towards something neutral, something positive, or just the task at hand can make a big difference over time. It's about directing your mental energy intentionally.
Right. Choose where you put your mental spotlight. That makes a lot of sense. Now, beyond these hacks, our sources mentioned something really cool. This idea that you can actually rewire your emotional brain. Is that for real?
It absolutely is. It's based on a solid scientific concept called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
It just means your brain isn't fixed.
Yeah.
It's constantly adapting, changing its structure and how it functions based on your experiences, your thoughts, your actions. It can do this throughout your life.
Wow. Okay, that's huge. So we're not just stuck with the emotional habits we have now.
Not at all. Through consistent practice, you can genuinely change your brain's default pathways and influence your typical emotional responses.
That is incredibly hopeful. Can you give some examples? How do we actually do that?
Sure. Our sources point to a few things. One is practicing gratitude, consciously focusing on things you're thankful for regularly.
Yeah. What does that do?
Research shows it can actually boost serotonin levels in your brain.
The mood stabilizer chemical.
Exactly. So gratitude practice can literally help you feel more content and stable by changing your brain chemistry.
That's amazing. Just focusing on the good stuff makes more good stuff chemically.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Another big one is mindfulness or meditation.
Right. People talk about that a lot.
And for good reason. These practices strengthen the parts of your brain involved in self-awareness, attention control, and importantly, emotional regulation. It's like weightlifting for your prefrontal cortex, building up your ability to manage emotions skillfully.
Building mental muscle for dealing with feelings.
Okay, and I thought this was fascinating. Even just faking a smile can help.
Isn't that wild? There's a feedback loop between your body and brain. The physical act of smiling, even if you force it at first, can send signals to your brain that trigger the release of some of those happy chemicals, like dopamine and endorphins.
So you can sort of trick your brain into feeling a bit better.
It's like priming the pump, yeah. It shows how connected our physical state and our emotional state are.
It really drives home that we're not just passive victims of our emotions, are we? We have influence. Our brains are listening to what we do and think.
That's the big takeaway, really. Feeling emotions, even intense ones, is normal. It's part of being human, part of having this incredibly powerful, ancient brain working to keep you going. It's not weakness, and it's not random noise.
Not at all. It's your biology doing its job, signaling safety, danger, connection, loss.
And the key is understanding that, right? Understanding where it comes from, how it works. That gives us the power to work with it instead of feeling like we're constantly fighting it or being overwhelmed by it.
Beautifully put. So next time you feel that wave rise, frustration, anxiety, whatever it is, maybe pause.
Great.
Try to name it. Okay, this is irritation. Remember those little steps. They seem small, but they empower you to navigate that inner world more effectively.
This has been really eye-opening. Just knowing the why and the how behind feelings feel like it gives you a bit more, I don't know, leverage.
It absolutely does.
Yep.
Understanding is the first step towards working with your emotions constructively, and hopefully it helps you appreciate just how amazing and adaptable your brain really is.
Definitely. Okay, so as we wrap up, here's something to chew on. Now that you know a bit more about the biology behind your feelings, how might that change the way you actually relate to them day to day? How does this knowledge empower you?
That's a great question to reflect on. And thinking about how our brains work, that leads perfectly into our next deep dive.
Oh, yeah. What have we got next time?
We're going to tackle something that affects almost all of us. Your brain on social media. Are you being programmed? We'll explore the neuroscience behind scrolling, likes, and the constant connection.
Ooh, that sounds fascinating and maybe a little scary. Definitely one not to miss.
For sure.
All right, well, that's it for this deep dive. If you found this useful, if it shed some light on your own emotional world, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, maybe share it with someone you think might benefit.
We appreciate you diving deep with us.
Until next time.